G'day everyone, welcome back to another exciting edition of 2 Clicks Up. My name's Nick Walsh, and tonight we're going to put together a little video on a project rifle I bought, simply to do a project rifle, something to do. I've acquired a second-hand HOWA 270 stainless sporter. Second-hand rifles, really not my bag. They're a bit of a lottery. You get them and you basically get what you get. You either get one that's been looked after or one that's been treated like a dog. So this one I thought was all right. The stock was a little bit knocked around, but it's just a plastic stock. Everything else was good. The bore's very good on it. I had a good look at the bore at the shop. Anyway, the deal was done. Rifle came home. You'll see in the video I pulled it apart, cleaned it all up, put it back together. I developed some loads, just had a crack at some loads, what I was using, the old Savage, and it seems to like them, and those are very similar. So my idea with these things is my idea is to show that these cheap rifles, you can make them shoot. They're hunting rifles, and that's all they're going to be. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. I've put bugger all money into this thing, and I'm quite happy with it. So I hope you like the video. I hope you like it as much as I enjoyed making it. Like it, subscribe, comment, ask questions, throw money. That'd be great. So we're off. Sit down, strap in. Let's go. Right, good day everyone. Welcome back to 2 Clicks Up. We've got another rifle to look at today. It's one I picked up the other day, a little second-handy actually. I don't usually buy second-hand rifles, but this one presented itself. It was in the price range I was looking for and the calibre I was looking for. I decided to make a little project gun. I'm going to try and get something really good out of this little thing and I'm going to really want to spend bugger all on it. So we'll see how we go. I'll go to the side, I've got the right price, and we'll see how we go from there. All right, so we'll do the stats first before we have a bit of a look at it. It's a HOWA 1500. Again, not going to do an in-depth review on the HOWA 1500. It's been done well and truly to death over the years, so we'll leave that there. Now this one's chambered in 270 Winchester. They come with it's a stainless sporter model. It's got I'm reading this off what I've written. It's got a 22-inch barrel. They have a 1 in 10 twist. The point-to-point length of the rifle is 1,090 mils, or just shy of 43 inches. And its dry weight, as it sits here, is 3,447 grams, or 7 pound 10 ounces. So not a heavy rifle. So we'll see how we go now. The only thing I really want to add to this, I'm going to use the scope off my old 270, the scope and the rings, the loophole rings, and the Vortex Copperhead 4 to 12 by 44. So we'll drop him on later. So let's have a good look at the rifle. Start at the back end. HOWAs always have this nice plush, for want of a better expression, recoil pad. The plastic Hogue stock. They're not the worst thing you'll ever get. The checkering on these stocks is quite good. They don't feel, even when they get wet or you get sweaty hands, they don't feel like they want to slip out of your hand. They're nice and chunky around the wrist of the stock, and they're nice and chunky around the forend. They have that nice square forend that I like, that sits in on rails and in rest very nicely. It doesn't want to roll around like those, as I always say, like those really sort of sharp rounded stocks. So we've got the HOWA three-stage safety. He's clear. Now this is obviously a bit worn in because you don't have that zipper sound in the bolt, but your standard HOWA 2-lug bolt. You get 3-stage safety. He's fully safe. Trigger won't work, nothing works. Stage 2, action of the bolt, no trigger. Stage 3, everything's cocked, bang. Now that trigger's really good. I'm going to check that in a minute. This one's fitted with a 0 MOA pick rail. It's only one of the Nico Sterling ones, but they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They do the job nicely. They sit the scope up just a little bit higher than some of the other ones. And we come down to the front. The stocks are always fitted with the sling swivel. The sling swivel mounts. I take them out, as you all know. I don't like little swivels. I don't put slings on guns. Okay, we have the standard HOWA 5-shot floor plate magazine. Action by the little catch in front of the trigger guard, and he just falls out there like that. Folds up in there with that, no problems. Now I haven't fired this rifle at all, so this will all be a new experience. But I envisage no no feeding issues. HOWA's very rarely provide you with any sort of feeding issue. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull the thing apart. We're going to give it the good standard clean up and torque everything back down. We'll fit the scope. We'll check the trigger because that trigger is nice and light. Whoever's had this rifle, they've done the trigger because there's very little creep in it. It's a nice crisp little break. It's got a bit of wear on it. I mean, it's obviously been a truck gun. All the wording's worn off the floor plate there and that. So but these things you can chuck them around a bit. And I've had a look at the bore. The bore seems in really good condition. With the big guns, unlike the 223s, 222s, 2250s, etc., you don't shoot these. You just don't shoot the big guns as much as you shoot the little guns. So but this one's all right. But we'll see where we go from here. Right, she's apart, and that came apart fairly easily, thank God, because when you buy a second-hand rifle, you don't know if someone's pulled it apart and buggered it all up and cross-threaded nuts and bolts and God knows what. But luckily, this one came apart fairly easily. So we'll run through what we got. Firstly, our Picatinny rail. That's been trimmed, if you can see that. That's been trimmed off at the front, which is sort of tapers off with the receiver. So that's not an overly bad thing. That was held down nicely. There was no nothing bending it on the top, but it had some something on the nut on the mounting screws. So we'll get all that off. That's easy. Front and back screws came out nice and easy. The threads, the heads aren't stripped out at all. So that's good. The bolt doesn't seem to be worn. There's no sort of pitting in the bolt face. So that's all. I did find an interesting thing under the bolt handle here. The number, what number is that? 85. Now that's been hand engraved in there. That's probably an identifying mark from whoever's owned the rifle at some stage. 85 means nothing to me. That's been engraved after the fact. So I had another good look down the bore. There's no wear in the bore, no marks or scratches, anything like that. You've got your HOWA 3-stage trigger, and I'm going to look at that and I see the pink stuff on the front. This might have had a trigger spring job on it because there's really no creep in this trigger. It's a really nice little trigger, that. Everything seems to be in order there, and our floor plate, now maybe these earlier ones like this, maybe they were tack welded together like that. That's usually the steel springs apart like that, and you can you've got to sort of squash it down to get in there, but that's just like a couple little tack welds on the back there, so that's okay. And your floor plate, there she be. Floor plate, trigger guard, assembly, all comes out as one. So there we go. So what we'll do now, we'll go on. I just want to check the weight of the trigger. That'll take me a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to spend a good while giving this thing a good clean down. Get all the rubbish out of it, and we'll start again. Just in regard to the stock, this is another one of those HOWA plastic stocks, not the rubber overmolded one. But again, this bit up the front, the forend of the stock rather, that's as solid as a rock. And that's fully floated, this thing. I've checked it before. That's nice and floated. It just touches, like the paper just touches the top of that little bit where the swivel stud goes there, but that doesn't touch the barrel at all, so that's fine. Got a couple little bedding pillars in there, aluminium pillars. So yeah, I'm happy with this stock. I'm not going to pull it apart. As I say, I'm not going to do anything to this one. I'm going to give it all a good clean. So there we go. Right, the rifle's apart, and we're just going to check the weight of the trigger. I've mucked around this. It feels really nice. There's very little creep, very little if any creep in it. So I think whoever's had this has done a little trigger job. Might have just done the spring properly. But we'll see how we go. So the action's empty. Got her up. Turn our Chinese luggage weighing scale in. Turn that on and see how we go. That's just on 1.5 pounds. It's almost bench rest stuff. There again. You're looking at somewhere, it cracks consistently between 1.5 pounds and 1.75 pounds. So you've got a trigger pull here of well under 2 pounds. Now that's nice and smooth. We'll do one more crack. Right on 1.5 pounds. Right on the money of 1.5 pounds. So I'm happy with that. That's still okay. Now I normally fit a Mite trigger shoe to these rifles, but these ones have got like a nice wide trigger blade in them with a little bit of grip there. So I'm going to try it without the trigger shoe this time. We'll see how that goes. All right, so now it's time for cleaning, and that's about as much fun as pulling your toenails out. But see how we go. Right, let's finish up here. We've done the 270. We've put it all together. Now, quick recap of what we've done. We've pulled it apart. We've cleaned it all up. This OD green synthetic stock is pillar bedded, nice, really solid aluminium pillars in there, so it's pillar bedded. We've tightened all our action screws down, both our action screws down to 50 inch-pounds. We've cleaned all the trigger group out. We've given it all a good lube up and everything. We've tightened everything down here. Rail is tightened down to 20 inch-pounds, and we've mounted our Vortex 4 to 12 by 44 copperhead scope on it. Now our rings are torqued down to 20 inch-pounds, and the top rings, the top rings are torqued down to 18 inch-pounds as per the Vortex instructions. Now these Vortex scopes, as I say, nice bit of kit, clear as a bell, and I'm sure this will work absolutely wonderfully. The rifle now is we've weighed it again since we've put all this rhubarb on it, and it now weighs 4,010 grams, which is 8 pound 13, just a dot over 8 pound 13 ounces. So we've put about we put just under 563 grams on it with putting all the scope and rings on it. So at 8 pound 13, it's still quite manageable. You've got to have a little bit of weight in the bigger guns, otherwise it hurts you too much. So, but that's the trade-off. A little bit more absorbed recoil, but there's a bit more weight there. So, you know, horses for courses. But I'm quite happy with the way this has turned out. It looks good, it feels good, everything's sort of set up nicely, and I cannot wait to go and shoot it. When we were filming this, during the course of putting this together yesterday, a couple of huge storms came through here, and everywhere I go and shoot is waterlogged at the moment, so it might be a little while. So that's the way it goes. But and rain is good, so I'll wrap it up here, and we'll see you at the farm when we shoot this beast. Right, got out to the range, so the nice hot little breezy day. We've got the HOWA 270 up on the bags, and we're going to send a couple of test loads down the range. We've sighted it in, and it's all pretty good. Now these are the same, everything's the same as what I use in the old Savage in terms of projectiles, etc, etc. I sighted it with the old loads, and they fitted in nicely. They seem to shoot well, so we'll just do a bit of load testing and see if we can chop a bit down or see how we go. We're chucking 130 grain horn of the SSTs with ADI 2209 powder. We're going to use 53, 54 and 53 and a half, 54 grains and 54 and a half grains. So there are 4 test loads. We got a couple of targets down there, and we'll see if we can shoot some groups. So what do we do first? 53. Right, that was what was that? That was 53. This is 53 and a half grains. Let's see how we go with this one. Righto, what do we got now? We got 54 grains. Let's see how we go. Righto, lucky last 3. This is 54 and a half grains of 2209, pushing 130 grain SSTs out of the HOWA 270. This is what I sighted the rifle in with, and this is what I use in the old Savage. And I was pretty happy with the results I got sighted in this morning. So we'll see how we go. All right, here we go. The tail of the tote. The verniers never lie. Okay, 3 shots, so that's 53 grains, and that's 0.88, we're getting a bit wider there, 0.92 of an inch at 100 metres. Not bad. That's 53. 53.5. Okay, where are we? He's just a whisker over. He's 1.054 inch. But we've got 2 right next to each other. That's 235. That's pretty good. And that's 3 there. 1, 2, 3. We'll see how these pull up. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's 54 grains. That's 0.823 of an inch. That's not bad. 1, 2, 3. And that was with a, I've got onto this a bit quick, and that was with a little bit of a hot barrel. That's the 3rd shot right in the middle. So we'll see how we go that way. 1.1. Should have measure them as they fall. 1.1. Oops, come on, edge come. 1.145. Yeah, those two are about 0.82. Yeah, so that's 54.5. So I'd be happy to use 54 or 54.5. That's not it. That's even not that bad. That one. They're all good. So we can knock a little bit of powder out of that down the track, but that's our 270. It's shooting all right. It's our little one we bought on the cheap and spent nothing on. So we'll see how we go. Let's go and wrap it up. Righto. Final thoughts. In short, very happy with it. Trigger's a little bit light. That's about the only minus I found with this rifle, but that's quite easy to get used to. A little bit of creep in front of it, but you get used to that. That tells you you're there. And it's a little bit just to get it going. That's a nice, but it's a nice trigger. Scope's lovely, and everything's tightened down nicely, and it's shooting pretty good groups. The wind's got up out here, and that's just the way it goes. Play the cards you dealt. I think with the way it's shot today, whatever you pointed at is going to be dead. So our cheap little project gun is a winner. So we'll go away next week and see if we can put some blood on it. So in conclusion, as I always say, you can tell your wife, you can tell your girlfriend, you can tell them both for all I care. Doesn't matter to me. Just remember, go 2 clicks up. Ta-da.